What if the LA Kings draft Quinton Byfield? The LA Kings have the opportunity to draft a franchise player in the 2020 draft, and they have narrowed their choices down to two players, Quinton Byfield and Tim Stützle. Both these players are great, but Quinton Byfield is a natural center and may have the greatest upside of any player in this draft. What if the LA Kings draft Quinton Byfield? How would this impact the NHL? 2020 draft results. LA Kings draft Quinton Byfield, Detroit Red Wings draft Marco Rossi, Buffalo Sabres draft Cole Perfetti, Minnesota Wild draft Jake Sanderson, Winnipeg Jets draft Anton Lundell, Nashville Predators draft Dawson Mercer, Florida Panthers draft Braden Schneider, Carolina Hurricanes draft Jack Quinn, Edmonton Oilers draft Yaroslav Askarov, Toronto Maple Leafs draft Caden Gooley, Montreal Canadiens draft Hendrix Lapierre, Chicago Blackhawks draft Dylan Holloway, Calgary Flames draft Rodion Amirov, Columbus Blue Jackets draft Ridley Gregg, Philadelphia Flyers draft Maverick Bourque, Colorado Avalanche draft Noel Gunler, Washington Capitals draft William Wallinder, St. Louis Blues draft Helge Grans, Vegas Golden Knights draft Lucas Reichel, Dallas Stars draft Marie Kuznetsov, and the San Jose Sharks draft Brandon Brisson. New York Rangers draft Alexis Lafreniere and Jacob Perreault in the 2020 draft. Ottawa Senators draft Tim Stützle, Lucas Raymond, and Ryan O'Rourke in the 2020 draft. Anaheim Ducks draft Jamie Drysdale and John Jason Peterka in the 2020 draft. New Jersey Devils draft Alexander Holtz, Seth Jarvis, and Connor Zary in the 2020 draft. Retirements: Zdeno Chara, Joe Thornton, Patrick Marleau, Craig Anderson, Mike Smith, Dustin Byfuglien, Ryan Miller, Ron Hainsey, and Jonathan Erickson. Chicago Blackhawks buyout Brett Seabrook, Columbus Blue Jackets buyout Alexander Wenberg, Detroit Red Wings buyout Justin Abdelkader, Edmonton Oilers buyout James Neal, New York Islanders buyout Johnny Boychuk and Andrew Ladd, Vancouver Canucks buyout Brandon Sutter and Michael Furlan. After the draft, a few trades are made. Boston Bruins trade Jake DeBrusk and Andre Cosse to the New Jersey Devils for Fabian Sutherland and Joey Anderson. Buffalo Sabres trade Rasmus Ristolainen and Casey Mittelstadt to the Winnipeg Jets for Nikolai Ehlers, Logan Stanley, and a second-round pick in 2021. Edmonton Oilers trade Adam Larson, Andreas Athanasiou, and Jesse Puljujarvi to the Dallas Stars for Rope Hintz, Joel Kiviranta, and a second-round pick in 2021. If Puljujarvi signs with Dallas, the Oilers get an additional third-round pick in 2022. Minnesota Wild trade Alex Galchenyuk to the Detroit Red Wings for a third-round pick in 2021. Montreal Canadiens trade Philip Deneau, Victor Mete, and Max Domi to the Vegas Golden Knights for William Karlsson, Nikolai Waugh, and a second-round pick in 2021. Nashville Predators trade Pekka Rinne to the Calgary Flames for a second-round pick in 2021. New Jersey Devils trade Jesper Bratt and Will Butcher to the Florida Panthers for Alexis Sorella and a second-round pick in 2021. New York Rangers trade Chris Kreider and Ryan Strome to the San Jose Sharks for Kevin LeBanc and a first-round pick in 2021. New York Rangers also trade Henrik Lundqvist to the Vancouver Canucks for a third-round pick in 2021. If the Vancouver Canucks win the Stanley Cup, the third-round pick becomes a second-round pick. Toronto Maple Leafs trade Tyson Barrie and Andreas Janssen to the Chicago Blackhawks for Alex DeBrincat, Connor Murphy, and a second-round pick in 2021. If the Blackhawks make the playoffs, the second-round pick becomes their first-round pick. Toronto Maple Leafs also trade Frederik Andersen to the Buffalo Sabres for a second-round pick in 2021 and a third-round pick in 2022. The Toronto Maple Leafs will also trade Travis Dermott and Ilya Mikheyev to the LA Kings for Akil Thomas, Alex Iafallo, and a second-round pick in 2022. Vegas Golden Knights trade Marc-Andre Fleury to the Toronto Maple Leafs for a second-round pick in 2022. Vegas retains $1.5 million of Fleury's contract. Winnipeg Jets trade Patrick Laine to the LA Kings for Rasmus Kupari, Gabriel Velarde, Arthur Kaliev, and a first-round pick in 2021. 2020 free agent signings. Boston Bruins signed Taylor Hall, Sami Vatanen, and Brendan Dillon. Buffalo Sabres signed Johnny Boychuk and Mikko Koivu. Colorado Avalanche signed Michael Furlan and Connor Sheary, as well as Michael Frolik. Carolina Hurricanes signed Wayne Simmons and Vladislav Nemesnikov. Edmonton Oilers signed Corey Crawford, Kevin Shattenkirk, and Corey Perry. LA Kings signed Torrey Krug and Jesse Puljujarvi. Nashville Predators signed Mike Hoffman and Cody Ceci. New Jersey Devils signed TJ Brody and Rocco Gudis. Washington Capitals signed Trevor Daley and Derek Forbert. Winnipeg Jets signed Alexander Wenberg and Andrew Ladd. Anaheim Ducks signed Eric Holla. Calgary Flames signed Brett Seabrook. Carolina Hurricanes signed Justin Braun. Chicago Blackhawks signed Cam Talbot. Dallas Stars signed James Neal. Detroit Red Wings signed Braden Holtby. Florida Panthers signed Craig Smith. Montreal Canadiens signed Mikael Granlund. New York Islanders signed Anton Khudobin. New York Rangers signed Justin Schultz. Ottawa Senators signed Jacob Markstrom. Philadelphia Flyers signed Justin Abdelkader. St. Louis Blues signed Thomas Greiss. Tampa Bay Lightning signed Brandon Sutter. Toronto Maple Leafs signed Alex Pietrangelo. And the Vancouver Canucks signed Jamie Howard. All players not on this list of free agents are re-signed by their current teams. All free agents are re-signed by their current teams. The changes made in the offseason have a major effect on the 2020-2021 season. In first place in the Atlantic Division are the Boston Bruins, followed by the Tampa Bay Lightning and Toronto Maple Leafs. In first place in the Metropolitan Division are the Philadelphia Flyers, followed by the New York Rangers and Washington Capitals. The Carolina Hurricanes hold the first wildcard spot in the Eastern Conference, and the New York Islanders hold the second wildcard spot in the Eastern Conference. Missing the playoffs in the Eastern Conference are the Pittsburgh Penguins, Columbus Blue Jackets, Florida Panthers, Montreal Canadiens, Buffalo Sabres, Detroit Red Wings, New Jersey Devils, and Ottawa Senators. In first place in the Central Division are the Colorado Avalanche, followed by the Dallas Stars and St. Louis Blues. In first place in the Pacific Division are the Vegas Golden Knights, followed by the Edmonton Oilers and Vancouver Canucks. The San Jose Sharks hold the first wildcard spot in the Western Conference, and the Winnipeg Jets hold the second wildcard spot in the Western Conference. Missing the playoffs in the Western Conference are the Arizona Coyotes, Calgary Flames, LA Kings, Chicago Blackhawks, Anaheim Ducks, Nashville Predators, and Minnesota Wild. Colorado Avalanche beat the Tampa Bay Lightning in 6 games to win the Stanley Cup. Retirements: Henrik Lundqvist, Alex Steen, Brandon Dubinsky, and David Backes. Buffalo Sabres buy out Kyle Oposo. Minnesota Wild buy out Ryan Suter. Nashville Predators buy out Kyle Turris. New Jersey Devils buy out Corey Schneider. Philadelphia Flyers buy out JVR. San Jose Sharks buy out Evander Kane and Mark-Edward Vlasic. Tampa Bay Lightning buy out Ryan McDonough. And the Vancouver Canucks buy out Louis Eriksson. Seattle Kraken joined the NHL in 2021. Seattle Kraken acquired Milan Lucic, Oliver Kylington, and a first-round pick in 2021 from the Calgary Flames to take on Milan Lucic's contract. Seattle also acquired Zach Parise and a first-round pick in 2022 from the Minnesota Wild for a third-round pick in 2021. Seattle Kraken trade Pekka Rinne and Casey Cizikas to the Pittsburgh Penguins for a second-round pick in 2022 and a third-round pick in 2022. Seattle also trades Connor Murphy, Artem Anisimov, and Jesper Fast to the Anaheim Ducks for Troy Terry and a second-round pick in 2021. Lucas Wallmark and Ryan Donato are traded to the Carolina Hurricanes for a third-round pick in 2021 and a third-round pick in 2022. This is how the Seattle Kraken look like after the expansion draft. The first line is Zach Parise, Tyler Johnson, and Nino Niederreiter. The second line is Andre Burakovsky, Alex Kerfoot, and Troy Terry. The third line is Carl Hagelin, Radek Faksa, and Jordan Kyrou. The fourth line is Milan Lucic, Adam Lowry, and Sam Bennett. First D pair is Vladislav Gavrikov and Troy Stecher. The second D pair is Shane Gostisbehere and Adam Larson. The third D pair is Oliver Kylington and Matt Roy. Goalies are Matt Murray and Yaroslav Halak. Spares are Jacob Middleton, Dakota Mermis, and Brandon Perlini. Top prospects are Max Jones and Tage Thompson. This brings us to the 2021 draft. 2021 draft results. Detroit Red Wings draft Atsu Ratti, New Jersey Devils draft Dylan Gunther, Minnesota Wild draft Matthew Benares, Nashville Predators draft Brandon Clark, Ottawa Senators draft Mason McTavish, Anaheim Ducks draft Zachary Bulldog, Buffalo Sabres draft Ken Johnson, Chicago Blackhawks draft Simon and Vincent, Montreal Canadiens draft Chaz Lucius, Florida Panthers draft Carson Lambos, Columbus Blue Jackets draft Martin Rice-Savy, Arizona Coyotes draft Isaac Bellavo, Pittsburgh Penguins draft Fabian Lysell, New York Islanders draft Samu Tumala, Carolina Hurricanes draft Xavier Bourgault, Vancouver Canucks draft Daniil Chaika, Washington Capitals draft Ronan Schmidt, Toronto Maple Leafs draft Matthew Neese, St. Louis Blues draft Artem Grushnikov, Edmonton Oilers draft Carson Kuhlmans, Dallas Stars draft Francisco Pinelli, Boston Bruins draft Luke Hughes, Philadelphia Flyers draft Jack O'Brien, Vegas Golden Knights draft Aiden Horeshchuk, Tampa Bay Lightning draft Logan Stankoven, and the Colorado Avalanche draft Cameron Wynot. Seattle Kraken draft Owen Power and Zachary Laharoux in the 2021 draft. New York Rangers draft Brett Harrison and Stanislav Svozil in the 2021 draft. Winnipeg Jets draft Cole Sillinger and Connor Roulette in the 2021 draft. After the draft, a few trades are made. Anaheim Ducks trade Ryan Getzlaf and Jacob Silfverberg to the Detroit Red Wings for Michael Rasmussen and a first-round pick in 2023. Arizona Coyotes trade Phil Kessel to the Nashville Predators for Eeli Tolvanen and a first-round pick in 2022. Columbus Blue Jackets trade Nick Foligno to the New Jersey Devils for Pavel Zacha and Jesper Boquist. Chicago Blackhawks trade Brandon Saad to the Tampa Bay Lightning for Alex Killorn and a second-round pick in 2022. Edmonton Oilers trade Ryan Nugent-Hopkins to the Pittsburgh Penguins for Jason Zucker, Nathan Legare, and a first-round pick in 2022. LA Kings trade Jeff Carter to the Ottawa Senators for Vitaly Abramov and a second-round pick in 2022. Florida Panthers trade Aaron Ekblad to the Anaheim Ducks for Josh Manson, Sam Steele, Braden Tracy, and a first-round pick in 2022. New Jersey Devils trade Nikita Gusev and Andre Kasse to the Carolina Hurricanes for Dominic Bach and a second-round pick in 2022. Philadelphia Flyers trade Claude Giroux to the Ottawa Senators for Colin White, Josh Norris, Eric Brandstrom, and a first-round pick in 2022. St. Louis Blues trade Jaden Schwartz and Vince Dunn to the Edmonton Oilers for Darnell Nurse and a first-round pick in 2022. Toronto Maple Leafs trade William Nylander and Justin Hall to the Philadelphia Flyers for Matt Niskanen, Oscar Lindblom, and a first-round pick in 2022. 2021 free agent signings. Anaheim Ducks signed JVR, Ian Cole, and Derek Ryan. Buffalo Sabres signed Derek Stepan and Nicholas Jomelson. Colorado Avalanche signed Paul Stastny and Louis Eriksson. Detroit Red Wings signed Chris Russell and Artem Nismov. Florida Panthers signed Kyle Turris and Ryan Murray. LA Kings signed Alex Edler and Tyler Bozak. Minnesota Wild signed Travis Zajac and Antti Ranta. Arizona Coyotes signed Evander Kane. Boston Bruins signed Mark-Edward Vlasic. Calgary Flames signed Devin Dubnyk. Carolina Hurricanes signed Jake Allen. Chicago Blackhawks signed James Reimer. Edmonton Oilers signed Nick Bonino. Montreal Canadiens signed Jason Demers. New Jersey Devils signed Jonathan Bernier. New York Islanders signed Ryan Suter. New York Rangers signed Ryan McDonough. Philadelphia Flyers signed Matthew Perreault. Pittsburgh Penguins signed Corey Schneider. St. Louis Blues signed Casey Cizikas. Toronto Maple Leafs signed Kyle Oposo. Vancouver Canucks signed Eric Stahl. And the Winnipeg Jets signed Alec Martinez. All players not on this list of free agents are re-signed by their current teams. All free agents are re-signed by their current teams. The changes made in the offseason have a major effect on the 2021-2022 season. In first place in the Atlantic Division are the Boston Bruins, followed by the Toronto Maple Leafs and Tampa Bay Lightning. In first place in the Metropolitan Division are the New York Rangers, followed by the New York Islanders and New Jersey Devils. The Washington Capitals hold the first wildcard spot in the Eastern Conference, and the Ottawa Senators hold the second wildcard spot in the Eastern Conference. Missing the playoffs in the Eastern Conference are the Philadelphia Flyers, Pittsburgh Penguins, Carolina Hurricanes, Buffalo Sabres, Detroit Red Wings, Montreal Canadiens, Columbus Blue Jackets, and Florida Panthers. In first place in the Central Division are the Colorado Avalanche, followed by the Dallas Stars and St. Louis Blues. In first place in the Pacific Division are the Edmonton Oilers, followed by the Vancouver Canucks and Vegas Golden Knights. The San Jose Sharks hold the first wildcard spot in the Western Conference, and the Nashville Predators hold the second wildcard spot in the Western Conference. Missing the playoffs in the Western Conference are the Winnipeg Jets, LA Kings, Anaheim Ducks, Chicago Blackhawks, Calgary Flames, Seattle Kraken, Arizona Coyotes, and Minnesota Wild. The Edmonton Oilers beat the Boston Bruins in 6 games to win the Stanley Cup. Retirements: Mark Giordano, Bobby Ryan, Ryan Kessler, Johnny Boychuk, Louis Eriksson, Corey Schneider, Andrew Ladd, Vance Nilsson, and Jay Beagle. Buffalo Sabres buy out Jeff Skinner. Nashville Predators buy out Colton Sissons. New York Islanders buy out Jordan Eberle. Ottawa Senators buy out Nikita Zaitsev. Pittsburgh Penguins buy out Jack Johnson. And the St. Louis Blues buy out Oscar Sundqvist. This brings us to the 2022 draft. Detroit Red Wings draft Brad Lambert. Winnipeg Jets draft Matthew Savoy. Columbus Blue Jackets draft Bucker McGrody. Montreal Canadiens draft Frank Nazar. Calgary Flames draft Simon Nemec. Chicago Blackhawks draft Jack Hughes. Buffalo Sabres draft Maddox Fleming. Carolina Hurricanes draft Isaac Howard. LA Kings draft Jack Devine. Edmonton Oilers draft Jordan Dumas. Philadelphia Flyers draft Tristan Luneau. San Jose Sharks draft David Goyette. Washington Capitals draft Michael Estarza. New Jersey Devils draft Yuri Lasella. Tampa Bay Lightning draft Joakim Kimmel. Vegas Golden Knights draft Ludwig Persson. New York Islanders draft Philip Bystedt. Dallas Stars draft Paul Ludwinski. Vancouver Canucks draft Jonathan Lekkerimäki. New York Rangers draft Simon Forsmark. Colorado Avalanche draft Connor Geekie. And the Boston Bruins draft Lane Hudson. Arizona Coyotes draft Shane Wright and Ty Nelson in the 2022 draft. Seattle Kraken draft Ivan Miroshnichenko and Yaroslav Slavkovsky in the 2022 draft. Florida Panthers draft Seamus Casey and Cruz Lucius in the 2022 draft. Toronto Maple Leafs draft Noah Gruder and Almari Laxo in the 2022 draft. St. Louis Blues draft Charlie Leddy and Devin Kaplan in the 2022 draft. After the draft, a couple trades are made. Arizona Coyotes trade Nick Schmaltz to the Chicago Blackhawks for a second-round pick in 2023 and a second-round pick in 2024. Calgary Flames trade Johnny Gaudreau to the Philadelphia Flyers for Joel Farabee, Phil Myers, and a first-round pick in 2023. Chicago Blackhawks trade Jonathan Taves to the New York Islanders for Brock Nelson, Oliver Wahlstrom, and a first-round pick in 2023. Carolina Hurricanes trade Vincent Trocheck and Jake Gardner to the San Jose Sharks for Thomas Hertl, Mario Ferraro, and a second-round pick in 2023. Dallas Stars trade Thomas Hurley and Denis Gurianov to the Winnipeg Jets for Villian Heinola, Connor Roulette, and Gabriel Velarde. LA Kings trade Jonathan Quick to the Arizona Coyotes for Connor Garland and a second-round pick in 2023. LA Kings trade Alex Edler and Dustin Brown to the Boston Bruins for Brandon Carlo and a first-round pick in 2023. New Jersey Devils trade Damon Severson and Michael McLeod to the New York Islanders for Kiefer Bellows, Noah Dobson, and a second-round pick in 2023. Pittsburgh Penguins trade Evgeny Malkin to the Seattle Kraken for Alex Kerfoot, Nino Niederreiter, Oliver Kylington, and a first-round pick in 2024. San Jose Sharks trade Brent Burns and Jonathan Dahlen to the Columbus Blue Jackets for Alexander Texier, Oliver Borkstrand, David Savard, and a first-round pick in 2023. Vancouver Canucks trade Tyler Toffoli and Tanner Pearson to the Vegas Golden Knights for Alex Tuch and a third-round pick in 2023. Washington Capitals trade Dmitry Orlov and Jacob Verana to the Nashville Predators for Matthias Ekholm and Kalle Jarnkrok. 2022 free agent signings. Arizona Coyotes signed Jeff Carter and Connor Murphy. LA Kings signed Elvis Merzlikins and Brayden McNabb. Seattle Kraken signed Alex Radulov and Brian Rust. Tampa Bay Lightning signed Jordan Eberle and Nikita Zaitsev. Calgary Flames signed Darcy Kemper. Colorado Avalanche signed Mikko Koiskinen. Detroit Red Wings signed Jack Johnson. Florida Panthers signed Calvin DeHaan. Ottawa Senators signed Antoine Roussel. Pittsburgh Penguins signed Oscar Sundqvist. San Jose Sharks signed Joe Pavelski. St. Louis Blues signed Dan DeKaiser. Tampa Bay Lightning signed Jeff Skinner. Toronto Maple Leafs signed Colton Sissons. Vancouver Canucks signed Anton Strawman. Vegas Golden Knights signed Ben Sherratt. And the Washington Capitals signed Pascal Francouz. All players not on this list of free agents are re-signed by their current teams. All free agents are re-signed by their current teams. The changes made in the offseason will have a major effect on the 2022-2023 season. In first place in the Atlantic Division are the Boston Bruins, followed by the Tampa Bay Lightning and Toronto Maple Leafs. In first place in the Metropolitan Division are the New York Rangers, followed by the New Jersey Devils and New York Islanders. The Ottawa Senators hold the first wildcard spot in the Eastern Conference, and the Philadelphia Flyers hold the second wildcard spot in the Eastern Conference. Missing the playoffs in the Eastern Conference are the Washington Capitals, Carolina Hurricanes, Columbus Blue Jackets, Buffalo Sabres, Detroit Red Wings, Pittsburgh Penguins, Montreal Canadiens, and Florida Panthers. In first place in the Central Division are the Colorado Avalanche, followed by the Dallas Stars and the Seattle Kraken. In first place in the Pacific Division are the Edmonton Oilers, followed by the Vancouver Canucks and the Vegas Golden Knights. The Winnipeg Jets hold the first wildcard spot in the Western Conference, and the LA Kings hold the second wildcard spot in the Western Conference. Missing the playoffs in the Western Conference are the Nashville Predators, Anaheim Ducks, San Jose Sharks, St. Louis Blues, Chicago Blackhawks, Calgary Flames, Arizona Coyotes, and Minnesota Wild. Edmonton Oilers beat the Tampa Bay Lightning in 6 games to win the Stanley Cup. Retirements: Pekka Rinne, Duncan Keith, Kyle Oposo, and Justin Abdelkader. After the season, a few trades are made. Anaheim Ducks trade Adam Henrique to the Ottawa Senators for Logan Brown and Drake Batherson. Edmonton Oilers trade Oscar Klefbom and Zach Kassian to the Chicago Blackhawks for Ian Mitchell, David Kampf, and a second-round pick in 2024. LA Kings trade Sean Walker and a first-round pick in 2025 to the Carolina Hurricanes for Ryan Suzuki and a third-round pick in 2024. Minnesota Wild trade Jared Spurgeon and Jordan Greenway to the Tampa Bay Lightning for Andre Palat, Mitchell Stevens, and a first-round pick in 2023. New Jersey Devils trade Kyle Palmieri and Kevin Ball to the Toronto Maple Leafs for Rasmus Sandin and Nick Robertson. New Jersey Devils trade Kyle Oposo and Kevin Ball to the Toronto Maple Leafs for Rasmus Sandin and Nick Robertson. San Jose Sharks trade Timo Meier and Jacob Middleton to the New Jersey Devils for Seth Jarvis and a third-round pick in 2024. Toronto Maple Leafs trade Alex DeBrincat to the LA Kings for Tyler Madden, Jared Anderson-Dolan, and a second-round pick in 2024. Vancouver Canucks trade Adam Gaudette and Jake Virtanen to the St. Louis Blues for Zach Sanford and Sammy Blais. 2023 free agent signings: Anaheim Ducks signed Patrick Hornquist and Nick Jensen. Buffalo Sabres signed Gustav Nyquist and Shane Gostisbehere. Dallas Stars signed Lars Eller and Paul Byron. Arizona Coyotes signed Ben Bishop. Boston Bruins signed Patrick Maroon. Calgary Flames signed Michael Furland. Columbus Blue Jackets signed JT Kumpfer. Detroit Red Wings signed JVR. Edmonton Oilers signed Brian Dumoulin. Nashville Predators signed Milan Lucic. New Jersey Devils signed Jake Gardner. New York Islanders signed Jonathan Quick. Philadelphia Flyers signed Jonathan Drouin. Pittsburgh Penguins signed Jonas Donskoy. Seattle Kraken signed Keith Yandel. Tampa Bay Lightning signed Brett Connolly. And the Washington Capitals signed Eric Johnson. All players not on this list of free agents are re-signed by their current teams. All free agents are re-signed by their current teams. The changes in the offseason will have a major effect on the 2023-24 season. In first place in the Atlantic Division are the Boston Bruins, followed by the Tampa Bay Lightning and Ottawa Senators. In first place in the Metropolitan Division are the New York Rangers, followed by the New Jersey Devils and Washington Capitals. The Toronto Maple Leafs hold the first wildcard spot in the Eastern Conference, and the New York Islanders hold the second wildcard spot in the Eastern Conference. Missing the playoffs in the Western Conference are the Vegas Golden Knights, San Jose Sharks, Arizona Coyotes, Minnesota Wild, St. Louis Blues, Chicago Blackhawks, Nashville Predators, and Calgary Flames. In first place in the Central Division are the Colorado Avalanche, followed by the Winnipeg Jets and Seattle Kraken. In first place in the Pacific Division are the Edmonton Oilers, followed by the LA Kings and Vancouver Canucks. The Anaheim Ducks hold the first wildcard spot in the Western Conference, and the Dallas Stars hold the second wildcard spot in the Western Conference. Missing the playoffs in the Eastern Conference are the Philadelphia Flyers, Columbus Blue Jackets, Buffalo Sabres, Detroit Red Wings, Carolina Hurricanes, Pittsburgh Penguins, Montreal Canadiens, and Florida Panthers. The New Jersey Devils beat the LA Kings in 6 games to win the Stanley Cup. The winners in this scenario are the LA Kings, New Jersey Devils, Winnipeg Jets, New York Rangers, and Edmonton Oilers. The losers in this scenario are the Calgary Flames, Nashville Predators, Montreal Canadiens, Pittsburgh Penguins, and Florida Panthers. The LA Kings are stacked with a core of Anze Kopitar, Quinton Byfield, Patrick Laine, Alex Turcotte, Alex DeBrincat, Ryan Suzuki, Drew Doughty, Torrey Krug, Brandon Carlo, and Elvis Merzlikins. New Jersey Devils have a tremendous core of Nico Hischier, Jack Hughes, Alexander Holtz, Timo Meier, Connor Zary, Dylan Guenther, Noah Dobson, Ty Smith, Rasmus Sandin, and Mackenzie Blackwood. New York Rangers have a fantastic core of Alexis Lafreniere, Artemi Panarin, Mika Zibanejad, Barrett Hayton, Jacob Perreault, Adam Fox, Victor Soderstrom, Keandre Miller, and Igor Shesterkin. Winnipeg Jets have a really good core of Blake Wheeler, Mark Scheifele, Matthew Savoy, Anton Lundell, Rasmus Kupari, Cole Sillinger, Josh Morrissey, Rasmus Ristolainen, Thomas Harley, and Connor Hellebuyck. Edmonton Oilers have a great core of Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, Jaden Schwartz, Jason Zucker, Kyle Yamamoto, Jordan Dumas, Philip Broberg, Carson Ceulemans, and Yaroslav Askarov. Calgary Flames and Nashville Predators both lose many important players and will be rebuilding for a few years. Montreal Canadiens and Pittsburgh Penguins lose some key players and are far from being a playoff team. Florida Panthers are the biggest losers in this scenario. They are the worst team in the Eastern Conference and are stuck with many overpaid players. If the LA Kings draft Quinton Byfield, they will have tremendous depth at center, which lays the foundation of a contending team. Next, what if the Tampa Bay Lightning trade Steven Stamkos?